What it do, baby? I'm back with another lab. It's your boy, the Network. And it's another Eigrp lab. No, it's not Groundhog Day. It's just another Eigrp lab that they have in the ENARSI section of the Boson NetSim application. As you can see, we did the Eigrp lab, that first one in the ENARSI section. Then we did Eigrp routes. Then yesterday we did Eigrp and wildcard masks. Today we're going to do configuring Eigrp part 1. I don't know what happened to the check marks here. When you get them done, you'd get green check marks there. I guess I must have reset it. I don't know. But today we're going to do part 1, this lab right here. So let's go ahead and load that bad boy up. And we're going to try to run through this. I think it's only, let me see how many tasks there are. We got some basic commands here. This is the topology right there, right? We take a look. We got pod 1 on the left hand side. We got pod 2 on the right hand side. Sound like a referee here. And we're going to be configuring Eigrp on each sides of those pods. I believe we're going to be just doing it on the left hand side, pod 1 right here. Right? We're going to be setting up Eigrp. So similar to yesterday's lab, as far as configuring Eigrp goes, I don't think it's going to be set up the same exact way. But that's loaded up. Let's go ahead and close this bad boy. No. Close. Do I still wish to close it? Yes. Don't ask me that again. Close that? Yes. Don't ask me that again. I should have clicked that checkbox there. I don't know if you guys have this application a lot or not, but you can follow along. And then I will just try to teach what I know. And let's see. If you guys don't know, I have a Discord server. Whenever I stream, I will let you guys know on the Discord server. And if I do cancel a stream, or if I say, you know, I'm not going to stream today or whatever, I usually let you guys know in the Discord server. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat, and you can join and get the inside scoop on my channel here whenever I can find it. This window here. There we go, right there. We got Pete in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. There is the link for the Discord server if you guys want to join, get the inside scoop on my channel. Shout out to Yaman Janaid. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We got Eglitarian 207 in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. What's that? That's in New Jersey? What area code is that? I don't even know. Is that an area code, the 207 in your nickname? Area code 207. What is that? Oh, that's Maine. Okay. It sounded like somewhere up north. Are you in Maine? Eglitarian? We've been doing a lot of labs in Boson NetSim. Y'all know I like this application. They gave me a free demonstration copy that I could, demo on my channel. But I'm gonna reinstall GNS3 on this laptop. This is a new laptop that I got. I'm gonna reinstall GNS3 on here. I want to put EVNG on there, but it gets a little confusing installing it. But maybe I'll put EVNG as well. I don't know. We'll see. Linux has been bitten by its most high severity vulnerability in years. Who would have thought, right? One of those Linux is one of those applications that rarely ever gets hit by malware and is rarely ever targeted by hackers and the like. Because nobody got in Linux, man, except for, nerds and people that just likes tinkering with Raspberry Pis and shit, right? Dirty Pipe has the potential to smudge people using Linux and Linux derivatives. Shout out to Josh from Keep It Techie. He has a YouTube channel, and he talks about Linux and his favorite Linux distros and Linux commands and teaches. He has a great channel on Linux and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to him. He just loves Linux. He's a real Linux nerd. Which, by the way, we did a collaboration. I did an interview on his channel. He interviews a lot of people in the tech field and stuff like that. We had a really good conversation. So go on his channel and check it out. But he talks a lot about Linux, and on there he's just like, yeah, we rarely ever get hacked. Well, here's some news here. Linux has yet another high severity vulnerability that makes it easy for untrusted users to execute code capable of carrying out a host of malicious actions, including installing backdoors, creating unauthorized user accounts, and modifying scripts or binaries used by privileged services or apps. I mean, it was bound to happen. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was vulnerabilities found, but this is one of the biggest ones yet, apparently. Dirty Pipe, as the vulnerability has been named, Dirty Pipe. It sounds like a damn bad porno film from the 80s or something. Is among the most serious Linux threats to be disclosed since 2016. The year another high severity. I just be coming up with some weird shit, man. The year another high severity and easy. Wait, 2006. The year another high severity and easy to exploit Linux flaw named Dirty Cow. I'm not even gonna say what that sounded like. Came to light as it was being used to hack a researcher's server. Researchers in 2016 demonstrated how to exploit Dirty Cow to root in any Android phone. That's what I got here. And regardless of the mobile OS version, 11 months later, researchers unearthed 1,200 Android apps in third-party markets that maliciously exploited the flaw to do just that. That's why you got to be careful when you're on Google Play. Be careful with what you're downloading. There's so much, applications that are open source, and they just be wary of what you download in Google Play Store, man. Because a lot of that shit don't even get, verified by the, the folks at Android or Google Play or whatever. When nobody becomes all powerful, the name Dirty Pipe is meant to signal similarities to Dirty Cow and provide clues about the new vulnerability's origins. Pipe refers to a pipeline, sure, a Linux mechanism for one OS process to send data to another process. So kind of like a worm per se, right? In essence, a pipeline is two or more processes that are chained together so that the output text of one process, std out, is passed directly as input stdin to the next one. So yeah, that's basically what a worm does. It kind of propagates to the next device and so on and so forth, right? Track the CVE 2022, blah, 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 and they just keep talking about it, and I guess they have some comments, or I guess a sample of the code. I don't know. But I'll send you guys a link to the article if you really wanna know a little bit more about it. Let's go ahead and get into the lab. GNS3 is cursed. I run Linux. Yeah, man. Well, be careful for Dirty Pipe there. Apparently that's a vulnerability. Which Linux distro do you run, Pete? Egalitarian says he lives on the East Coast. No, he's from California originally. Oh, okay. Cool. Shout out to Egalitarian 207. Let's go ahead and jump into this lab real quick, man, and then call it a night. Task number 1 says to, and I feel like we've done this lab before. I don't know why, but I looked at on my archives, and I'm like, apparently we didn't. Maybe we did an OSPF lab similar to this, but apparently we did not do this lab. So, but that's the topology right there. These are some basic commands that we should know about, right? Ping. We have the summary address. That's one we got to take note of right here. This creates a summary on an interface for Eigrp. One that's really important we got to remember. IP, summary address, Eigrp. This is different from OSPF when you want to summarize an address. I think they use the area range command for OSPF when you want to summarize an OSPF network. We got some show commands here for Eigrp. Take note of those. This is the basic IP addressing guide right here. And let's go ahead and get started. Task number 1, enable Eigrp within pod 1. Remember, pod 1 is on this side of the topology right there. Pod 1, and again, on this side right here is pod 2, as you can see, right? Configure P1R1, which is this guy right here. P1R1 is right over here, with the appropriate host name and IP addresses. Refer to the lab topology diagram and IP address table. Use 64,000 as the clock rate on the DCE interface. So this is the basic IP addressing. We need to configure some interfaces here: serial 00, fast Ethernet, and the loopback. Y'all know how to do that, right? If not, then just follow along. Be like, here you go. Change the host name, right? Host name is, we said P1R1, all caps P1R1. And then we said the serial, let's start with the serial interface, which is 000. Oops. Just some basic IP addressing we're going to do here, configuring interfaces. Maybe I could have done this on stream, but y'all know I like to do everything from scratch in front of y'all. 192.168.1.33, 7 mass of 255.240. Oops, I put 240. No, shut that bad boy. So we did the serial interface here. Where is he at? What happened to my paint? Shit. Damn. Come on, man. We did this interface right here. let's go ahead and configure the loopback and the fast Ethernet interface on that router, right? Let's start with loopback interface, loopback 0, IP address of, what did they say? It's right there. Come on, man. I didn't save it. 192.168.1.1/28, right? So 192.168.1. What he said? Come on, man. I thought I was tabbing over correctly. 1.1. So 1.1/28, which is 255.255.255. Also 240, right? That's /28. Yeah. No shut that bad boy. Well, it's already up, as you can see right there. So I don't have to no shut it right there. And then finally, the, what interface was that? The fast Ethernet interface, which is in the 10 network. So we're gonna say interface FA00. This is 0/0. Y'all got any questions so far? Y'all know this is the easy stuff right here. We're gonna get into more complex, more advanced topics pretty soon. Pete said very smooth. Okay, cool. I just switched to Linux Mint. Previously used Endeavor Arch Linux for over a year. Yeah, that's a really popular one. That's, matter of fact, that's, I believe, Josh's favorite distro. Linux Arch Linux. I guess that's a real popular one. You said Linux Mint is smooth. Which one has a better UI? Yeah, GNS3 is pretty cursed, man. Y'all remember I had a couple streams where, you know, GNS3 was acting funky. And then when I would do it on my hardware and the lab would work, and I'm just like, see, this is why I love hardware. I don't really like these virtual simulators, but, you know, if I want to practice it at work or whatever, it's more portable, you know what I mean? So I need to bring this hardware back to life, right? The IP address was 10.100.100.1/24. So 255.255.255.0. No shut that bad boy. What was the next task? Our tasks are right here. We got to do the clock rate on the DCE interface. Y'all remember what that is, right? That's basically the clocking that we're going to do on a serial interface, right? So we only got this interface right here is a serial interface. So we got to do the clocking on this side of the interface, right? As opposed to being, then that should bring up, once we brought up this interface right here, and we gave him the IP address, this IP address right here, and then we got to work, once we get to that side, we're going to bring that up, but we also make sure one of these sides have to do the clocking. We're going to do that side right there to do the clocking. They said to set the clock rate to be 64,000, right? So let's go back to the serial interface, serial 00, 0/0, clock rate 64000. That turned it up. So now, what was the next task? Next task was configure P1R2 with the appropriate hostname IP addresses and refer to the lab topology diagram. Enable the interfaces. So same thing, but we're going to do the same, do the IP addressing on this router right over here. So we got to do that interface, this interface, and that interface, right? P1R2 is right over here, right? Enable, fix his hostname. Hostname is P1R2. IP or interface, let's do with the serial interface first, 0/0. His IP address was, go to the addressing guide, 000 is 1.34, right? You see that? Got any questions so far, or am I lose anybody, whatever? Very smooth. You can put any UI you want. Oh, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I never really got into Linux, man. I you know, as working as a network engineer, they always say you got to learn it, but maybe because I just do mostly layer 2 and a lot of like racking and stacking and stuff like that. I don't really deal with a lot of Linux, even though iOS is Linux-based software. But I don't know. I never really got into really like Linux and stuff like that. I don't really tinker with it. I need to though. IP address was 192.168. Where is it at? The fast Ethernet is 1.49/. 255.240. Right, that's the interface we're working on right now, FA00. So 1.1.49. Subnet mask of 255.255.240. No, shut that bad boy. Let's work on the loopback interface, which is 1.17. So interface loopback 0. His IP address was, as you can see right there, 192.168.1.17. So 192.168.1.17. Subnet mask of 255.255.255.240, which is /28, right? Yeah, with me so far? Right, this is just the basic homework right here, just configuring IP addresses. Real easy stuff right here. Let's go to the fast Ethernet interface. So interface did we do that? We did the fast Ethernet yet? No, we didn't. So FA00, his IP address is 1.49. All right, let me make sure. The serial is 1.34. So I need to fix that. Let's go back to the serial interface. Y'all see I made that mistake right there, right? Serial 00, right? Let me show y'all real quick what I did wrong, just so y'all can see. Even though I was sitting here talking about it's easy. The serial interface is 1.34. So I need to fix that. I made it as serial 00. I did it as 149. So I need to fix that. And I caught myself there. I'm glad I caught myself. IP address is 192.168.1. What I said? Serial 00 needs to be 1.34. So 255.255.240. See, and I really could have messed up this lab too. Always got to verify our work, man. So let's go back to the FA00 interface and make him 1.49. So interface FA00, and his IP address is 192.168.1.49. Subnet mask of /28, which is 255.255.240. No, shut that bad boy. Let's make sure that the serial interface is not shut. 0/0. No, shut. So that should come up now, right? Because that was the serial interface, which is south of the border. I guess it's already up. Let's verify. Let's verify. Show IP interface brief. The serial, all the interfaces are up. Good to go. Good to go. The next task, I believe, is the next router over. Let's see. Configure P1R3 with their appropriate IP addressing and hostname. So P1R3 is the router that sits all the way at the top of the topology. This router right here. So we only got one interface to worry about. This guy right there. All right. Change the hostname and give him the IP address. He's up here. Y'all got any questions so far? Global config mode, hostname P1R. What you said? 3. IP interface FA00. IP address is 1.50. So 192.168.1.50. We haven't even got to the EIGRP part yet. .255.240. Is it 240? /28. 240. No, shut that bad boy. What's the next task? Task 4. Well, not task 4, but I guess step 4. Enable EIGRP on all interfaces on P1R1, P1R2, and P1R3. The AS, or autonomous system, is 200. Remember what I said what ASs are, right? It's a group of routers, or whenever you want a router to speak to another EIGRP router, they need to be not only in the same subnet, their interfaces need to be the same subnet, the autonomous system needs to be the same. So even though I speak EIGRP, and you speak EIGRP, we speak the same language, but we are not in the same, I guess, house. We are not in the same, we don't have the same address. We're not going to be able to talk to each other. We don't have the same AS number. Remember that. OSPF is different. Like when you do router OSPF 15 and the other one is router OSPF 20, they can still talk to each other because the process number is locally significant. The AS number, though, they have to match. So remember that. So let's start off with P1. Let's start off with this router right here and put those interfaces, put this interface in EIGRP and that interface in EIGRP. We need a network statement that's going to catch those. Let's go to P1R1. Where's he at? Bloop, bloop. Come on, man. I hate this. Let's scroll over. I don't like the way see, now I've done lost my damn, where the fuck is it at, man? I gotta zoom out and shit. Jeez. Where did the topology go, man? There it is right there. Shit, man. I hate the way that if the people over at Boson is watching this, man, y'all fix this, man. I don't like the way the roller zooms in and out. I should be able to scroll up and down like I do with a web browser. So that's the router we was working on right there. We need to go to configure Eigrp. How do we do that? We use the router. We did it just same thing we did yesterday. Router, Eigrp, and they said use the AS number what? 200, right? 200 or 100? I believe it was 200. Yeah, 200. So router Eigrp and the AS number, which is any number between 1 and 65,535. In this case, is 200, right? And then we use a network statement that's going to catch these. Let's do network. Let's see what's in on our interfaces first. Show. Let's do a show IP interface brief. We need a network statement that's going to put this in the Eigrp, that interface in the Eigrp, and that interface in the Eigrp. I know this is a /24, right? And I believe that was /28. So let's do 192.168.1.0 network. And then for this, we could just do the 10 network to catch this. We could do 10, 100, 100. Let's do 192.168.1.0 first. Network 192.168.1.0. Wildcard mask. We don't necessarily got to put one because it's a class full network. Class C, right? Because they said this is a /20. What was that? It's /28. We could just go with that. Let's just go with that for now. And then one for the 10 network. So the network, let's just do 10.0.0.0. And notice we got a neighbor relationship here. Who's our neighbor? 10.100.2. We learned that from the fast Ethernet 00 interface. That is over. So we learned about an Eigrp neighbor through this interface right here. Who's connected there? Well, if we go down this line right here, we go down the backbone, basically the internet, we'll see that we've learned a neighbor through there. Who's 10.0.0 or 10.100.100.2? That's this guy right here. So now we made an Eigrp neighbor with this guy, and we are happy. Notice this little happy face here. It's a sad happy face. Right? Now we got a happy face right there, right? Yeah, y'all know. Yeah. P said I am still a noob on it, so yeah. I really should start tinkering with Linux, but I don't know. I just like messing with routing and switching. That's just where my passion lies. And I always love going back to the basics, man. Show IP Eigrp neighbor, and we see we got one neighbor, and that is this guy right here. Let's do the same thing on P1R2 and put a network statement that's going to catch all these guys. We could just do 192.168.1.0 to catch all of these right here. Global config mode, router, Eigrp 100. Did I say 100 or was it 200? I can't remember. I believe it was 200, right? They said AS number 200, so we need to fix that. Let's get rid of this. Control A, no, and then router Eigrp 200, network 192.168.1.0. That should give us a neighbor right here. There it is right there. We got a neighbor 192.168.1.33. Who is that? 1.33 is, so we configured Eigrp on this router right here. We got a neighbor, a message that's saying we have an Eigrp neighbor when we turned it on this interface right here. Who is that neighbor? 1.33 says it's a neighbor. Who is that? That's this guy right over here. So when we did that, we said, oh, we got a neighbor. And that's this guy right here. And that's how we formed an Eigrp neighborship between those two right there. That right there, right? We also put this interface in EIGRP. But guess what? We didn't learn the neighbor yet because why? This is not participating in EIGRP. So let's go ahead and P1 R3 and configure EIGRP on that router right there. P1 R3 is right up here. Go to global config mode. We say router EIGRP. What I said, 100 or 200? 200. Don't crash on me yet, man. Oh, okay. Man, Boson has been crashing too. The other day I was working on it with my boss. I was working on the lab real quick, and he was telling me what I was doing wrong. And then we was halfway through the lab, and the shit crashed, man. Lucky it didn't happen like while I was live streaming and stuff. But y'all seen these applications been crashing on me and stuff like that too. It happens. It's life, man. Y'all hit with that like button. Make sure you join the Discord server if this is the first time you tuned onto this channel. Let me give you guys an invite. Whenever I do stream like extra on the weekend, sometimes I don't have my daughter, or I might be going out of town or something like that, which I'm gonna be going out of town pretty soon, and I will be streaming. So there is the Discord server right there. What else? Let's put a network statement in this router. Network 192.168.1.0. Wait for it. We said, yeah, there it is right there. So we got a neighbor. Who's that? 1.49. Who is 1.49? You guessed it, the neighboring router right there. There's 1.49. He says that's 1.49. When we configured this in, when we put that interface right there in EIGRP, we learned about a new neighbor right over through this line right here. Don't worry about the switch, right? Because this is not layer 3. So we bypassed all of that, sent some EIGRP packets through that, and then we learned about that neighbor through that interface right there, right? What's the next step here? Looks like we configured EIGRP on all of those. Next step says from P1 R3, ping P2 R3's fast Ethernet 00 interface, which is 192.168.2.50. So basically they want us to ping from this router right here. They want us to ping from that router to this interface right here. That interface right there. So we need to send a packet going all the way down through the backbone up here. And then to make that reach router, to make that router respond. And then it said here, the ping should succeed, right? Hopefully they designed it correctly and make it succeed. Let's go ahead and ping 192.168. What they said it was? 2.50. Right? I'll show y'all. Right there. It says right there. 2.50. That's the interface we need to ping. 2.50. We got a reply. We didn't even have to get on our knees to pray to the network gods on that one. So that works. What's the next step? On P1 R2, display the routing table. Go to P1 R2. He's down here. We display the routing table with show IP routes. What was the question they want to know? Look at this big ass routing table. Let's zoom into that. Can y'all read that? Y'all let me know if y'all can read that. If not, let me make it a little bit bigger for anybody that's blind. Windows, my bad. Preferences. Let's pick font size number 19. Make it a little bit bigger. Boop. Right? For anybody that can't really see. Sometimes I'll go back and look at these videos and I'm like, damn, you can't even read that, man. Nobody ain't complaining about that. What is a subnet mask associated with the 10.100.100 subnet? So we look at our routing table. The 10.100.100 subnet is right here. The subnet mask says /24. Is that correct? Who knows? What is the subnet mask for the 192.168.116 subnet? So 1.16 is up here. The subnet mask says is /28. Are these the correct subnet masks? I can't remember. I think that this was supposed to be /24. Yeah, I believe that's correct. What's the IP address on it? Show IP. We learned about it through EIGRP. So we'd have to actually go on the other router to see what is the correct subnet mask, right? And if we don't know, we could always scroll down to the solutions and see what answer they're actually looking for. Yeah, I'm gonna mess this up. That's another thing. I wish they locked these the the locations for those. Show IP interface brief, which is not going to show me the subnet mask. So let's just do show IP interface FA00. FA0/0. The subnet mask for that is /24. So yeah, I believe that's correct. That's correct. /24, and the other one was /28. Yeah, I believe that's correct. What was the other question? Oh, now we can move on to task 2. Verify Eigrp operations. On P1R1, display the list of primary and backup routes that have been learned from Eigrp neighbors. You will see 2 numbers in the parentheses that might look like the following: 1300/1200. The first number is the total metric or cost for this router to reach the destination network. Second number is the advertised metric from the directly connected Eigrp neighbor from which the route was learned. I believe we can see the primary and backup routes with show IP Eigrp topology, right? On P1R1. So let's go to P1R1 and do that. Show IP Eigrp topology. I wanted to do one more lab, man, but I'm ready to call it, man. I'm sorry, y'all. What did they want to know again? Oh, to display the list of the primary and the backup routes. So Eigrp topology shows you the primary and backup routes. Successor, just think of success, right? Best. That's the best route. That's what the successor is, right? Feasible route is the backup route, basically. And then the feasible distance, you guessed it, the backup to the distance for the backup, right? What was the question? They didn't ask us a question yet. What is the advertised distance to the 192.168.1.48 network on P1R3? The second number was the advertised distance, right? 192.168.1.48 network, which is over here. No, that's 2.48. 1.48 is right here. Advertised metric looks like it is this right there. 281. No, I believe that's the feasible distance. This should be the advertised metric. 217.2416. I believe that's it right there. Let's see. If we don't know, we could always check the solution at the bottom. Task 2, 1A. Task 2, 1A. What's the answer? Task 2, 1A. Yep, that's what we was looking for right there. The advertised distance is 28160. So the advertised distance is the second number. And then the feasible distance is that first number right there. So we need to remember that. F for first. Feasible distance, first. First number. And even said it right there. FD, right there. FD is that. So that's what I need to remember. That first number is the feasible distance. F, feasible, first. That's how I remember it. That's how I need to remember it. What was the next question? Feasible first. Feasible first. F. Next question was on P1R2, display information about the neighbors. How many Eigrp neighbors does the router have? So P1R2 sits over, that's this guy right here, P1R2. Theoretically, he should have a neighbor that sits on this interface, which is that guy right there, and one on this interface, which is not the switch, right? Because that's layer 3, but it should be on that interface right there, which means this guy should be our second neighbor. So theoretically, we should have 2 neighbors. Let's go P1R2 to verify that with what? Show IP Eigrp neighbors. There's the 2 neighbors right there, 1.33 and 1.50. Who are they? Right there, there's 1.50 and 1.33. That neighbor right there, right? Y'all with me so far? So we're almost done. JHD asked the question. He said, when should serial be used instead of Ethernet? Never. Typically, you would see that on a wide area network, I guess. If you don't have any Ethernet interfaces, then you would use a serial interface. They would use that for a wide area network. But serial is going by the wayside. It's older technology. It's slower. Nowadays, you've got fast Ethernet. gigabit Ethernet, 10 gigabit Ethernet, 40 gigabit Ethernet. You don't want to use serial interface anymore. But they still have us learning about it in the CCNA field, in the CCNA, when they're teaching us this stuff, because it's still out there. So whenever you could use Ethernet, you would use it over serial. But typically you would see that on a wide area network. Good question. Next question was, where's he at? Come on, man. Come on, lad. On P1R2, display Eigrp traffic statistics. How many hello packets have been sent? So we're on P1R2. We could verify that with show IP Eigrp traffic. And it tells you the hellos and sent, hellos sent and received right there. We sent / received. So sent 399, received 240. Y'all see that? Real easy. There's 5 Eigrp packet types. Hello, update, query, reply. What was the last one? Acknowledge. Right? No, reply. Yes, acknowledge. There it is right there. So that's the 5 Eigrp packet types. That's another question you'll get. That's another like test question you'll see. What on P1R1, which is this guy right down here, display Eigrp interface statistics. How many pending routes are displayed? On P1R1, interface statistics can be verified with show IP Eigrp. Is it statistics? No. Interfaces? Yes, interfaces. Pending routes is that last table. Pending routes. 0. We have no pending routes. I believe that will be you'll get those if your like Eigrp is still calculating, but it's pretty fast. So, but let me verify that before I talk shit. Let me see what pending routes in Eigrp are real quick. Eigrp pending routes. Let's just verify. I'm gonna fact check that real quick. Most of the documentation I can find on pending routes show Eigrp comes directly from Cisco are not that helpful. They want to know, yeah, I want to know what the hell is that. I'm not an Eigrp expert. Don't have a clue about these specific counters. Eigrp sends routes out of every interface. They don't really say. That's too much TLDR right there, man. But I think it's just pending routes is the number of routes in the packets. Number of routes in the packets in the transmit queue waiting to be sent. It's basically it right there. And this is from the Cisco press. So it's official. I'll show y'all real quick. Or I might put it in the let's see. Hold on. Real quick. I need to fact check. Yep, right there. Pending routes. The number of routes in the packets in the transmit queue waiting to be sent, basically. So if y'all want further reading on that, I will put it in the chat. Oops. And also in the Discord server. So pending routes is there. That's what I needed to remember. Or I wanted to verify, see what that's about. You can find serial links at Paul Browning's house. Yeah, seriously, man. This dude, oh man, if you guys are familiar with Paul Browning, he's an author of these books that we used to go on over on my channel. They're called 101 Cisco CCNA labs, and he did a lot of labs on like serial. He did a lot of labs that included serial interfaces and stuff. And I'm like, why do we go over this stuff, man? I rarely ever see serial interfaces out there, but there are some, believe it or not, in the education field, and that's why. I mean, where I work at, so we have serial interfaces. Hey, NetworkBruh and chat, what's up, Lavaris? Appreciate you for tuning in. We're just doing a quick Eigrp lab. We're halfway done. We were learning about these show commands right here, show IP Eigrp interfaces. The last one we looked over was pending routes. That's basically how many routes are in queue that are being sent and transmit or whatever, or I guess incoming. We've got none, and that's what that is right there. Last question, I believe, is task 3. We got Looks like 5 more subtasks in task 3. On P2R1, display the routing table. So let's go to P2R1, which is that right there. We display the routing table to show IP routes. What's the question? How many routes exist to pod 1? We said pod 1 was over, this is pod 1. We just logged onto this router right here. They wanted to know how many routes does it take to, how many routes do we have to go to these networks right here, right? How many routes do we have? Let's see. For the 1.0 network, we've got this route, we've got that route, we've got this route, they probably gonna want us to condense this route, right? Or condense these routes. And there it is right there. On P1R1, summarize pod 1's routes out of the fast Ethernet 00 interface. So now we're advertising all of those routes over there that I mentioned earlier. So all of these routes that's over here, we're advertising it, a whole bunch of them. They want us to pretty much group all of those routes so that way they have one way to get there, right? Because there's only one way to go that way. We don't need a route to go to this neighborhood, go to that neighborhood, go to this neighborhood, when we know there's only one way to take us there, right? So we need to summarize those routes. Let's go to P1R1 and probably use this command right up here. IP summary address Eigrp. This creates a summary on an interface for FA00. So first we got to do IP summary address Eigrp. So let's go to P1R1, which is over here, that bottom left corner. Go to global config mode. We said IP. We said summary address. No, IP Eigrp. No. Do we got to go on the interface and do that? Yeah, we got to go to the interface and do that, I believe. Interface FA00 0/0. We said IP summary address Eigrp 100. And then we need to put a summary of an address that's going to summarize all those routes. And I think we can do that with 192.168.1.0. I think we should be able to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that should be a good summary address, right? 192. And I don't know if we got to put a subnet mask or not. I doubt it. 192.168.1.0 IP subnet mask. I guess we could do 255 /24, right? /24.255.255.0. They didn't ask for a wildcard mask, right? And then let's go to P2R1 real quick. This is what our routing table looked like for the 192.168.1.0 network, right? We've got 4 subnets and it's subnetted, right? See that right there? What's the next thing they want us to do here? On P2R1, display the routing table. How many routes exist to pod 1? Well, we saw them right there. These guys right there. We've got about 4 routes. When you view the routing table on P1R1, does the summary route to pod 1 show up? What is the destination interface for the summary route and why? So let's go to P1R1 and see show IP route 1.0 network. Doesn't show up there because we're directly connected to that, I believe. So we don't need a summary route to those networks. Let's go to P2R1 and see if they showed up. Show IP routes for subnets. I don't think that's a subnet. It should have said something like summary address. So let's do this. Do we need to put, I don't think we needed to put this. We had let's see, this says /28 there. That didn't really change it. Let's see. I didn't close you guys yet, right? Okay, good. On P2R1, display the route EIG topology table. Does the summary route appear in the topology table? It did not. So let's look at the solution real quick and see what we did wrong. Let's go to, and that's what I love about apps application. If you get anything wrong, you can just Control G and see what we got wrong. So, and obviously we configured the rest of these routers, right? We got a red X on P1R1. Let's see what we got wrong here. Ain't no shame in my game. We did, we put the wrong AS number. See that? We should have put, and we even put an extra routing protocol there. So that's what we did wrong. I should have put Eigrp 200 and not 100. See that? No, my bad. Yeah, 200 and not 100. So let's go back and fix that. That was a typo on my part. Let's go back to P1R1. Show run. Let me see what I did right there. Let me just verify what I did wrong. All right, let me see. Let's see. Yep, this right there. We need to fix that. It don't say 100 there though. Oh yeah, there it is right there. That needs to be a 200. So let's go back to that interface. Interface FA0/0. No IP summary address. Can we just do it that way? Nope. We gotta actually type it all out. 100. Nope. We gotta type it all out. 192.168.100. I'm sorry. 1.0. 255.255.255.0. Remove that. Oh, we gotta put an Eigrp. Eigrp. And then let's go back and put 200. Oops. Eigrp 200. Y'all see what I'm doing so far, right? Change the AS number. And let's go ahead and get rid of that other routing process there. And we could have seen that if we would have done show IP protocols like this. And we would have seen we had Eigrp 100, which was not needed, and put in error, and Eigrp 200. That's the one we needed. So let's get rid of the 100 there. No router Eigrp 100. Get rid of that, right? And now if we do a show IP protocols, we'll see we only have one routing process. Where is it at? There it is right there, 200. It even bounced Eigrp there. Didn't know it would do that. Let's go to P2R1 and take a look at its routing table again. Show IP route. It did not. There it is right there. So now Eigrp just bounced. What happened there? 200. Did we get rid of 200? I hope we didn't get rid of 200. I hope I did not get rid of 200. But we got a new adjacency. Again, Eigrp is down now. What the heck is going on here? Show IP right when we're at the finish line here. Show IP Eigrp neighbors. We took it down. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Show run pipe section Eigrp. Let's take a look at what we did here. We got rid of Eigrp altogether. Damn it. Man, come on, man. I was supposed to do Eigrp. Was it 200 or 100, man? Let me see. Because yesterday was 200. Today was supposed to be 200. We got rid of the 100, didn't we? Apparently not. Yeah, we got rid of the 100, but it looks like we got rid of 200 too. So let's do that over. Told you I didn't feel like streaming today, but I streamed. Router Eigrp 200. Network 192.168.1.0. Network 10.0 network should be good. What else we needed? Do we have any neighbors on here? Show IP Eigrp neighbors. We got 2 neighbors. What's our summary route look like? Do we have our summary route? Show run. FA00 should have had the summary route. What happened to the summary route? It's gone. It is gone. So maybe when we remove that summary route, it removed the whole process altogether. Is that what happened there? If so, that's something I learned. Where's my routing process? Where's my routing process? I don't see it on there. Show run section Eigrp. What the heck just happened? What happened now? I just did EIGRP right there, and now it's gone. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. He still has neighbors. All right, let's go back to the FA00 interface. Let's put back that summary route that we said, which was IP summary address EIGRP process number 200. He said remove the no. You did not add 200 because it had the no in front of it. You removed 100 but did not add 200. I didn't know I didn't do that. Okay. So let me make sure I put the correct IP address on this. 192.168.1.0 network / 255.255.255.0. We configured the summary interface. Summary address. EIGRP is down. It is back up. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. Now he's got two neighbors. Let's go back to P2R1. He has a new neighbor. Let's make sure he has two neighbors. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. He has two neighbors now. Let's take a look at his IP routing table. And I don't see. This is our summary address right there that we were looking for. That's the summary address. To get to the 1.0 network, take the next hop of 100.1. How do we get there? Through our fast Ethernet 00 interface. That was the summary address we were looking for. Let's check our work with Control G. Looks like we're missing a command. What is that command that we're missing? Bloop. What? Bitch, how? And just like you said, Pete, that I removed the 200 process, but y'all see, I put it in there and it works. So I don't see where I removed it. It says right there, router EIGRP 200. That's what I'm missing. Let's see. Let's go back to this guy and see. That guy right there, right? I have two neighbors. How am I missing it when I have two neighbors in the 200 AS? Show, run. I guess it's gone. I'm going to type it again and save it. Router EIGRP 200. Right, 200. Let's make sure. 200, yes. Network 192.168. And I'm going to try to save it. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe there's a bug in this application or what. I don't know. 1.0 network, yeah. And then network 10.0 network. .0. Right. So run. And I still don't see it on there. See that? So maybe there's a bug. I don't know. But you see I recreated the routing process. My summary route is still there, but the routing process is not in the running in configuration. Is it in the startup configuration? So start. It's not even in the startup configuration. Although EIGRP is definitely running on here. We could verify that with show IP protocols. That's got to be a bug. See, EIGRP 200. That's got to be a bug. I think that's pretty much it tonight. Next lab, we are going to stream tomorrow. I'll try to stream. No, I don't think I'm streaming tomorrow. I'm going to play hoops tomorrow, man. Work-life balance, man. We'll probably continue on Thursday. Next lab will be, we go to View, Windows, Labs. And I'll get even G or GNS3 installed on my laptop here. We'll do part 2, EIGRP part 2. So we did part 1. We'll do part 2. Looks like we got a red X there, even though y'all see me configured it over and over and over again and saved it, and it still didn't show up. So that's got to be a bug, man. We'll do part 2 tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Thursday, and then move on to part 3 after that. So for now, make sure y'all join that Discord server. If you're not joined, he said do a summary for 200. It will come back. Bulky routes. Appreciate you for tuning in. I was wondering if you were doing more of these. Yeah, I just started streaming again Sunday. I did a giveaway for 5,000 subscribers. I gave away a copy of Boson NetSim. I have yet to hear from the winner. Prentice Adair, if you're watching, hopefully you hit me up and don't none of y'all make a fake account because I can verify that. But anyways, I did a giveaway of this application right here, and he wanted the CCNP copy, or she, I don't know. What part of CCNP do you need to focus on the most? Shit, all of them, man. I'm doing the NRC lab, so that's the exam I'm taking, and that's the reason why I'm going to go over all of these labs right here. As you can see, Boson NetSim, that's what I love about this application. They break down all the topics for each lab, right? So all the way from security fundamentals, and we got CCNA labs, we got Encore labs, as well as the NRC labs. So three exams that you could study for with this application. That's what I love about it. And as you can see, whenever I mess up, you can just Control G and see where you messed up at, and they give you explanation on here. So that's what I love about Boson NetSim. But anyways, yeah, I love it too. This is the Discord server. If you're not on my Discord server, so whenever I cancel or if I do an extra stream, I will give you guys a heads up on there. That'll give you the inside scoop. So I've already said, if he doesn't reply, that software is coming to me, damn it. Only if your name is printed there, or maybe, who knows, maybe I'll wait till like another 30 days or something like that and run another raffle. But you know, I'll give him some time. You know, I don't expect people to watch my channel every single day, so we're still waiting on here on the winner. But anyways, for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.